We've always been told by teachers and adults that discipline is one of the most important values that a person can have. We've also seen a million Instagram inspirational quote accounts recycle the same quote over and over again. That motivation gets you going, but discipline gets you growing. And this is coming from a motivational account? I mean, that is the kind of irony that we gotta put up with. I grew up in a world of distractions. From the time I played Angry Birds as a child to the constant stream of content that I face every day in my life right now. There is so much information about my friends, my city, my country, and the world that keeps updating. And my mind constantly wants to know, what did my favorite celebrity eat last night? Was it dosa, roti, noodles, or something Western? I sure hope they posted photos. And amongst all this buzz, how do my teachers expect me to remember who ruled France in the 16th century? All I remember are the past 16 seconds of this class, ma'am. When it comes to social media, people tend to have mixed opinions on them. Many of us would say that they're addictive, but are extremely easy and quick ways to communicate with people regardless of distance. But for some, phones are the product of a scary dystopian future and shouldn't be used unless absolutely necessary. After all, robots are going to take over the world someday, right? And what are phones but tiny robots waiting to steal your identity and become sentient? When it comes to me, devices have been a huge part of my life. Call me a product of my times, but I love seeing memes, watching funny videos, and playing games online. I love watching trailers for movies and shows. I love doing so much online that a piece of bread falling over makes a really popular video. And the picture of an egg becomes the most liked pic on Instagram. Ridiculous. But these distractions, they're fine until they start disrupting your structure. Now, what do I mean by structure? It's what I describe as your routine, your discipline, your productivity, and your consistency all at once. I had a really weak structure up till 8th grade. I was getting good grades, but I never took part in anything. And I was happy with the bare minimum. I was not developing or growing. And that meant that coming into 8th, and therefore the pandemic, my weak, fragile structure was faced by a dozen wrecking balls. Social media started taking over my life. YouTube videos were necessary with snacks and dinner. I needed constant external motivation to get any work done at all. Countless assignments left incomplete, marks leaving much to be desired. At this point, my lack of consistency and discipline took hold of me. And that meant that my weak structure was again going to break. I had enough of doing nothing, of being irresponsible and lazy. I was tired of feeling like I was living through every day for no reason. I wanted to do better. I wanted to build my structure from the ground up. Now, would you ever try to make something out of a broken Lego model with all its pieces lying around? I mean, you would rather just start over, right? The same way, I wasn't interested in building up anything from my weak structure of only doing what was asked of me and do everything last minute. No, I wanted to make sure that I did something because I wanted to. I wanted to instill the discipline so deep in my soul that I should never feel what I felt in those few months ever again. So, joining the National Cadet Corps in 9th and subsequently attending an NCC camp in 10th helped me understand the importance of routine and deprivation. Phones were not necessary for survival as many of us would believe. Every hour of those 10 days was meaningful in some way or the other. Sure, I learned the joy of cleaning up trash on my birthday or stuffing 4 pav in my mouth in a hurry. But most importantly, there was a sense of combined effort and therefore unity and discipline, which is the motto of the NCC itself. So I learned the importance of every second, minute, and hour. I also learned something very important, that a messy life is something that can destroy you from the inside. A well-managed life is something I understood was important for ideas, information, and details to properly flow through the mind. Now, that's how my respect for discipline increased. My favorite fairy tale as a child was The Three Little Pigs. At the time, it was because of the weird huffs and puffs that the wolf used to do. But now it's because it teaches a really basic lesson that most of us get but don't really use in our daily lives. It told me that the person who builds up their structure with patience and effort will always have the strongest one. And so I started working on my structure slowly but surely. I came up with a certain method for time management. I decided that I would set a specific time at the end of the day for free time. And to make it feel earned, this amount of free time would be proportional to the amount of work I did. 15 minutes of free time earned for every hour of work. And so my productivity improved because I wasn't trying to fit free time between everything, like I tried to fit 5 slices of cheese between 2 leaves of lettuce in my sandwich to convince myself into thinking that I was eating healthy. And that leaves the last part of my structure. How did I improve on my consistency? There wasn't any real method for this. This was something I had to teach myself. Keeping track of things I did wrong every day, keeping track of goals through journals to remind what I had to do and when I had to do them. But as we know, for every structure, there are a dozen wrecking balls. Sometimes I just felt too tired to continue, too exhausted to be productive, but I had just enough energy to play another game. School life can be repetitive, and I was finding it difficult. My improving structure was in danger. But I managed to listen to myself, convince myself, and found the only real tip for consistency, in my opinion. And that's to have one really big, important goal, like the final boss in a video game. Because that means that your mind and body are holding up your productivity and your discipline for a reason. And that means that you can be productive for a really long time until it's done. For me, that final boss is the board's examination. You know, now that I think about it, exams really are like video game enemies. You have to learn the same attack patterns over and over again until you figure out how to beat them for good. And this want to beat the exams keeps my structure strong for now. But that doesn't mean your inspirations for discipline have to be the same. In fact, find your own motivations and make productivity a little less of a burden and more of just another activity. Consistency is the hard part, but I'm sure we can all find our own final boss. Something we need to beat, something we need to work towards. We can make it work. We can make structures so strong that no matter how many wrecking balls the wolf throws at our brick house, it would never break. And all of this I learned from the mind-mushing, soul-sucking experience of the pandemic. Sure, I'm grateful for what I learned, but maybe next time without all the weird feelings and brain eating and stuff. I mean, those are serious bugs that need to be reported and fixed the next update by whoever developed this mess that we call our lives. But if I can clean up my mess bit by bit, I think everyone else can too.